Alright guys, welcome to the last video of 2023. This year, releases of videos for this channel has been inconsistent and I wasn't able to attend at many shows as I usually would have. And I will tell you now why that was the case. This year has been a terrible year for me as a reefer personally. And I really didn't want to share this, but I am going to because life isn't flowery all the time. And I think it's important to be truthful and transparent as well as show how we deal with adversities. So let's get this update started. So this was my tank at its near peak last year. You can see the acros, LPS corals, and pretty much everything thriving. And just look at this massive Space Invader chalice that is the size of a dinner plate on the back of the tank. For size reference, my tank is 6 foot wide, 254 gallon, and it took 1/3 of the back wall, so it was a massive coral to say the least. November of last year, my wife had to get emergency back surgery after sustaining an injury at her job. After 7 ER trips and a surgical procedure, she was hospitalized for close to 3 months before being discharged. Grueling recovery, legal battles to get the medical bills paid, and physical therapy ensued. And I had to shoulder and balance all the family obligations for my 2 small children, work, legal battles, as well as taking care of my wife. One thing after another, I also found that my biological mom has stage 4 ovarian cancer and that she's losing this battle. It was mentally and physically draining for me, and I focused solely on taking care of my family. Naturally, tank was the last thing on my mind as I was only at home to sleep, and it was severely neglected for months. My close friends reached out to help. Thank you again, Shane. But I felt terrible that I was being a bother and burdensome, and ultimately, I didn't take them up as I should have, and my animals suffered, and many of them did perish due to my decision. This is a death garden that is in front of my house. It reminds me that anything can happen in an instant, and I put this here to remain humble with always ready to learn attitude. Look at these skeletons. Most of these corals, I got it as a less than an inch frag. It really, truly breaks my heart to relive and share this with you. After a while, I decided that enough was enough and I started to clean the glass. This was after it wasn't touched for months, and I removed all the surviving agro colonies and gave them away to friends to keep with the promise of getting them back as a frag at a later time when I am once again ready for SPS in my system. And I started to turn things around in the tank for the sake of the animals and decided to take a different approach and away from the finicky agros for now and focus on easier SPS, LPS, and softies, so that I don't have to worry about the tank if I had to make emergency travel plans down the road, which I know I would probably have to make. This is how it looks now. I traveled many parts of the country collecting frags and colonies that I wanted to restock my tank, and on top of the dead skeletons, my new tank was born. My children and wife loves the swing movements, so I placed torches on top of the dead acros, and this highlighter yellow elegans coral was placed as a centerpiece to get the swaying motions of their tentacles as the focal point. And because I would miss having sticks, I placed a bunch of different colors of digitatas to eventually fill in the void those acros left behind. I also started to focus a little bit more on montiporas, mushrooms, and soft aquaculture corals and clams from biota aquariums. Going forward, the direction that I want to take is go for more meatier LPS corals like Lobophilias, Micromosa lords down the road, as well as Gonioporas on the back wall magnetic mounts as soon as I get rid of some of these nagging cyanos on these parts of the tank. I am looking forward to see how everything will look in 6 months of time of adding new frags and growth of these existing corals. With that said, let's recap the year of 2023. While we weren't able to cover as many shows as we would have liked, shows that we were able to cover was Global Pet Expo in Orlando, Revapalooza Orlando, Aquashella Dallas, and Aquashella Daytona. We connected with many vendors to introduce and showcase and spotlight many new products that came out to the market. We also toured and did a spotlight showcasing of aquaculture and coral wholesale facilities such as ACI Aquaculture, Vibrant Corals, Sea Sustainable Supply in Chicago, and Biota Aquariums for that exquisite eye candy corals, clams, and animals, and to let you guys know that what was the newest and the greatest in the world of captive breeding and aquaculture. As usual, we also delved heavily into education so that many people can achieve success in the journey of reef keeping. Aquaculture exhibit that I put together with Philip and Patricia Frost Museum of Science is still going strong, and the curators have been doing a phenomenal job keeping the tank and all of its inhabitants thriving. I may be biased, but I still believe that this is still one of the best coral exhibit in the ocean gallery in this museum, and I find it incredibly rewarding to see people enjoying it and learning from it. Talk of the second exhibit is still going on with various different institutions, and I hope to have something concrete in 2024. I previously mentioned this in my other video, and I was in contact with Nat Geo and have submitted all the footages requested, so hopefully our aquaculture clan from Biota Aquariums can be featured in their new giant clam documentary. Now, let's talk about conservation. Conservation, this is something that I'm extremely conscious of and very vocal about. And for many years, I have tried to become the bridge between our world and the world of academia to assist the scientists and to bring awareness of what is going on in the world and how the hobbyist and the hobby itself is and can help the corals in real life situations. We were invited to visit SeaWorld for their new coral restoration building, as well as visiting their Florida Coral Rescue Center's main building where they house functionally extinct Caribbean corals. We were able to spotlight their amazing efforts on being genetic seed bank and the last gatekeepers for these corals from going fully extinct from the world. Highlight of this year was when we were invited to come up to Florida Aquarium's Center for Conservation to document and partake in this year's last coral spawning efforts that was spearheaded by my good friend Carrie O'Neill. This for me was a top of the bucket list that I wanted to long achieve since I met Jamie Craigs years ago. Learning about his outstanding work about making corals spawn in captive settings, believing that there are so much that the world could benefit from this, as well as our hobby by being able to offer sustainably sourced corals with good genetic variety. I was eager to learn about this and wanted to see this in person and when the corals spawned in unprecedented rate in our presence. Both my friend Shane and I were ecstatic. By utilizing Aquarium World's product, and by incorporating Aquarium World science and resources, truly felt that this was what Dr. Charlie Varon, former chief scientist of Australia, said to me and to you guys many years ago to become the bridge between the Aquarium World and the scientist, working side by side to help these magnificent animals to survive. 2023, despite all its hardship, was a very memorable year and we have accomplished quite a bit. I rarely say this, but this was all possible due to the sponsors that believe in the work that I do, which is education through facts and proper information, news that we, the hobbyists, should be aware of, what efforts are being made in the real world for our oceans and her beautiful animals, and message of hope that I try to put out there. Thank you, Reef Nutrition, Benepets, Rogers Reef Food, Marco Rocks, Two Little Fishies, Siche, and Ecotech for their unwavering support, and Chris and Amanda Meckley of ACI Aquaculture. Last but not least, my buddy Shane Lafreniere of 24/7 Aquariums for always being there to assist with anything that I need to do, and being such a good friend for always having my back. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys found this long overdue update enjoyable. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what was your favorite part while you're down there as well. And we have so much stuff to show you guys in 2024, so be sure to stick with us. And once again, guys, thank you for watching this video. Have a great day and Happy New Year's.
I used to date since back in '08. If you cool with it, baby, she can still play. While I jump inside that box and have a field day. I'm a slow stroke king, hit me anytime. A los hombres les